Hey there! Welcome to the Distracted Librarians podcast. We're your friendly neighborhood bookworms with a penchant for all things pop culture.
Picture this as our digital campfire, where we dive into our latest obsessions, analyze our favorite distractions, and rediscover the joy of reading.
Whether you're a media enthusiast, a book lover, or just need a break from the daily grind, you've come to the right spot.
So kick back, relax, and get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody! On today's episode of Distracted Librarians, we are going to be talking about streaming services. I'm Nicole.
I'm Killian.
And I'm Drew.
All right, so streaming services. Drew has been a little bit of our authority on streaming services at the library because he has been able to do some presentations for the local community and all of that. So Drew's going to take the reins on this one, but we will be here to chat. And so streaming service versus streaming device.
Streaming service and streaming device are confusing when you first enter the game. Mm-hmm. I like to, in programs, talk about it as the difference between a DVD and a DVD player.
Okay.
Where the DVD is the content that you're looking for, and that's the streaming service. Okay. But you need a streaming device to play it, and that can be like your smartphone or a tablet or computer or a Roku or an Xbox, what have you.
Sure.
But you need something to like connect to the thing.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Why would they choose streaming services over a cable package?
You know, there are a lot of pros and cons to it. We always say we're not here to convince you to switch to exclusively streaming services or anything. It's just to open the door of what's quote unquote possible.
Sure.
So some of the pros that exist are the flexibility of the device where you can access it literally anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, when you have a cable service, it's tied to your home. Oftentimes it's tied to the room that you have the TV hooked up in.
Sure.
And, you know, with streaming services, I like to watch Great British Baking Show as my lunchtime show. Okay. When I'm on lunch breaks here. So I'll eat in the car and have it like pulled up on my phone sitting on the dashboard for that. Cool. You know, when I go traveling, I can access the same things. Sure. You don't like lose the service when you're not at the home address.
Yeah. Funny story, when we were in Costa Rica, we had moved into our little resort room and they had a TV that had everything that we just like signed into our Disney Plus account and we were watching Disney movies with my kids in Costa Rica. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. But then I realized like 2 days later that I forgot to log out and I had to call back and let them know to log me out so that other people weren't using our account. Anyway, so you can literally go anywhere.
You can do all of that from the app, too.
Oh, okay. I guess I could have done that.
Yeah, go in and disallow access.
Okay, good call. Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, streaming services have, you know, all kinds of their own original programming. They have 24-hour access to said programming, which is super convenient for me and people in our general career of anything to do with customer or public service, where oftentimes we don't get home until 9 or 10. Right. You know, yeah, what are we going to do with those? I
really do not want to go through a menu and try to figure out how to watch something on cable. No, thank you.
The whole process of like, okay, what's even on right now has not been a part of my life in so long.
Yeah.
Throwback to little 8-year-old Drew sitting in front of the TV Guide channel, waiting for
it to scroll.
Yeah. Waiting for it to scroll to the channels that I'm interested in because I'm a child and only have 3 channels I'm allowed to watch.
And then something distracts you and you miss it and you have to wait for it all over again. Maybe that was just me.
No. I swear my mother had a preternatural ability to know when the channel listing was at like 51. Because at my house, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon were all right next to each other. They were 57, 58, 59. And that's all I was waiting for.
Why does our generation all know that? Because mine were 44, 46, and 48. 45 was TV Land, and 47 was ABC Family or whatever iteration it was at the given time. And why do I still know that?
God, ABC Family was 53?
All I remember is VH1 was 29 and MTV was 30.
63 and 64.
That dates me right there.
Food Network was 49.
Oh, I hate this for us.
Oh my God, the turn this has taken.
Wow. Well, and so this is a situation too where like people that have cable, you know, they're in a very different sort of situation where they don't have the freedom to kind of watch whatever they just feel like watching. My kids do not understand what cable is at all, to the point like we've been streaming since before they were born. So when my kids go to my parents' house and they have cable and a commercial comes on, they are livid about having to watch this stupid commercial that, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you know, now we have some commercials and some things. Some streaming services still do that. But for the most part, they did not know what a commercial was until quite recently.
And even when they do have commercials, streaming services will do it for 30 seconds to...
Right.
The longest I've seen is 2 minutes.
Not 5 minutes long.
It's not the 3.5 minute ad breaks.
Yeah. Craziness. Yeah, totally. And then I have to sit there and be like, children, you don't know what it's like, because I used to have to watch all the commercials every single time. They'd show you the same thing over and over again. Yeah, but anyway, so.
Yeah, so then there are also some, you know, mixed bag type things for getting into streaming services where, you know, the cost is something that could be a huge positive because cable services can cost a stupid amount of money, whereas individual streaming services are like $10 to $15.
Right.
But if you are collecting streaming services like Pokemon,
then you're going to have a higher cost.
It's going to add up to the point where I think I have 5 services.
Okay.
I have like 11 that I have accounts with, but most of them are canceled and I cycle through. So 5 or 6 going at any given time. And that adds up to probably $60 or $70 a month.
Okay. Yeah, and sometimes you'll sign up for one, and they'll be like, well, you can get Hulu and ESPN for free. And then you just have these other things.
Yeah.
And sometimes you watch them, and sometimes you don't, and it's kind of like meh. But
And the original programming can also be a double-edged sword, because if I really want to watch, you know, Stranger Things and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Hacks and The Bear, those are all exclusive programming to their various streaming services.
Right.
And the thing we run into in libraries is a lot of times those exclusives won't come to DVD for a long time, if at all.
Okay.
Usually not at all.
Yeah. And so people want to see those but don't want to pay for the streaming service. And we can't help them.
Yeah, and that stinks because usually we want everything to be available to everybody. But
and you know, most streaming services will let you do like a 7-day package or a 7-day like early access thing before you start paying for it.
Yeah.
To test it. And you know, I've known people who will do that 7-day package during a week they have off and just not leave their living room.
Okay.
To marathon through everything that they wanted to watch from this service without paying for it.
Totally.
The problem is when those streamers take shows off of their service.
Tell us more about Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies, Killian.
My perpetual grudge with a certain streamer, and I canceled my account with them, and then I think I ended up restarting it. Oops. But I did cancel it for a while over the cancellation and subsequent removal of Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies within, like, not very long of the last episode. Because they were putting those out sequentially. It wasn't, here's a whole season at once. They were putting them out weekly. And then they canceled it before they had even finished the season. And then it was within days of, I believe, of finishing the season that they removed it entirely from the platform.
That's horrible.
And you couldn't access it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was so very upset. And then I actually didn't know that it was going to come to DVD. And it did eventually come to DVD. And Drew was very kind and left it at my apartment, just in a bag on my door.
He's like, I never want to hear about this again.
And I screamed.
Basically.
And you will still hear about it for forever because I will forever be angry about it.
Oh, my goodness.
In spite of having it on DVD now.
Well, one thing that I have been seeing is like there's this great series and I'm totally like, oh my gosh, I want to watch that so bad. Mayfair Witches, perfect example. And we didn't have the streaming service that the platform that it was on. And they were like, well, you can watch the first episode, but then you have to sign up for our service. So I stupidly was like, nah, they're not really going to do that to me. And I watched the first episode and then I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? This is horrible. Like I was so mad. And my husband was like, well, yeah, I don't think we really want that one. I'm like, oh God. So eventually I ended up going to Netflix or something and I ended up watching it on Netflix. But I had to wait like 6 months to watch the stupid thing. Ugh.
My favorite streaming service is it's becoming more and more mainstream, which is beautiful to watch happen. But I found it because of Drew. Anything I find, it's always Drew. But they put like the first episode, Dropout puts the first episode of each Dimension 20 season up on YouTube. And I think a couple of them, or at least one of them, the whole season ends up.
Yeah, the first 3 seasons that they have. Okay. I think all of them.
But for a while, it's like the first episode is on YouTube, and then you subscribe if you want to see the rest of it. But it is also... Dropout is the only streaming service that I use on a regular basis. It is also one of my cheapest, if not my cheapest, streaming service. So why I have all the others still, who knows? Why I give them money.
Yeah. So to explain Dropout a little more, there's a whole culture in British comedy shows of having like a group of 30 or 40 comedians that they'll pull from and just pull them into random shows. They'll go and do like Taskmaster or Would I Lie to You or what have you. And Dropout is sort of that aesthetic where they have like 20 shows at this point, maybe even more.
I've lost track.
And they just pull from the same like core batch of comedians. So you can follow your favorites through shows. You can learn new favorites by sticking with a specific show and just meeting more people along the way.
Mm-hmm. And they've expanded like outside their... Because it started with College Humor folks. Mm-hmm. But they've expanded and now we're starting to see like Smosh cast members on... a lot of Dimension 20, or not Dimension 20, Dropout content with like Game Changer and Dirty Laundry and things like that. But I really enjoy just there's a little bit of like nerd culture to a lot of their programming, and that's a lot of fun for me.
Cool.
A little bit. That's an understatement.
A little bit.
All right, so what are some other bad things about streaming services?
I mean, some of the rougher things is, the initial cost of setup for people who aren't already equipped for it. You need a certain level of internet speed to be able to stream anything. You need to purchase initial devices. I can speak.
Sure.
To be able to do it, sort of purchasing that DVD player and figuring out the user experience that works for you.
Okay.
You sort of have to accept that if you don't have cable, you can't watch things live unless you're paying for like premium packages. So like you can pay a good amount of money to have Hulu Live TV. You can get like specifically CBS or NBC shows through Paramount and Peacock if you pay the premium enough to watch live TV.
Sure.
But you sort of have to accept that you're not going to be interacting with television
in the same way.
In the same way that, our parents would, but also in the same way that it's often marketed.
Okay.
The Sunday at 8/7 Central doesn't matter when you're waiting for 3 a.m. the next morning for it to go on the streaming service.
Yeah. But I think that the live television thing is starting to become more we see it a little bit more in some of the streaming services, like I know on Prime, HBO Max. Like I've said in the past, my husband and I, we watch a lot of wrestling. And so we're able to watch AEW on HBO Max and it's live right the time that it would be on regular television and we can watch it that way. Or pay-per-views, same thing.
And see, my thing is I'm so unaware of what network TV is anymore. I don't know what's on like your local NBC channel or anything like that. Like when I was a kid and would watch Grey's Anatomy or CSI or anything like that, that was always on one of those, you know, your CBS, NBC, ABC, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know what those shows are anymore.
Yeah.
I have no concept.
Yeah, I have no idea what's on television.
I haven't had cable in almost a decade.
Sure.
I still have the concept of it, but it's because I have Hulu. So they'll put their list of newly released episodes, and I'll see sort of what's on network television, but it doesn't tell me the channel it's on.
Okay.
And see, I have Hulu, but I don't open it. So I don't see that.
Girl.
And Hulu has a delay, right? Is
Yes.
it that things post the next day?
So typically things will post for us in the East Coast at 3 a.m. because it's midnight Pacific time.
Oh, okay.
So it's waiting for the bulk of the country minus, you know, Alaska and Hawaii to be next day.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. I very rarely watch Hulu for anything. I'm with you, Killian. Like, I'll go on there, like, if I'm looking for something for my kids, I'll be like, is it on here? Is it on here? Is it? And I'm, like, poking around looking for things, but, yeah, whatever. Okay. So what do we have at the library that are streaming services or available?
So we have 3 sort of options for it. Movies and TV shows exist in Hoopla. Movies and documentaries exist in Canopy. And we just got a new service probably 6 months ago called My Film Friend, which is World Media.
And that's a newer thing that we have, right? Okay. I haven't been able to poke around on there yet.
It's good. It's you can tell that it's a limited collection because it's, you know, just starting. When we got our temporary sign-in account to test it out as, you know, library staff, they listed all of the libraries that were current members of it, and there were 8 of them.
Oh, wow.
In the country.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So it's expanded since, obviously, as other libraries have gotten on board and as other production companies, you know, become aware that this is an option to sell their things to for a U.S. sort of release.
Sure.
But it's still a fledgling enterprise, if you will.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we also just have the library's DVD collection.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if all else fails, because every once in a while there will be something I'm looking for that is just not streaming. Young Frankenstein. Hello. Young Frankenstein. Only during like Halloween season will they put it on streaming services, but the rest of the time you cannot find it. And I had just watched the Gene Wilder documentary, which is a tearjerker, by the way.
Yeah.
But it made me want to watch that movie, and I could not find it, and I was livid. But the library saves the day. Yeah. So you can always find something at the library.
There's also like free stuff out there just to the general public, which is most of what I watch, except for Dropout, which is this episode is just that reminder of I gotta go through my stuff. But we all know YouTube, I hope.
Yeah.
I also watch a lot of live streaming on Twitch, which is a little bit different from most streaming services, but I watch people play video games for fun. So those work really well for me.
Yeah, there's also Tubi and Pluto TV.
Pluto is interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's like just about as close to cable as you can kind of get, where, you know, you're able to watch live, some kind of live something, right? Yeah, and I've found like, I don't remember, we were looking for like the Harry Potter movies or something, and they weren't streaming at the time, and I think I was randomly able to find it on there. So that was helpful.
Yeah, Pluto is interesting because it gets really granular. So they have like streaming channels, but it will be a channel devoted to RuPaul's Drag Race. It will be a channel devoted to Project Runway, where you just turn it on and you're watching a random episode.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like if you, like you said, the British Baking Show, for me, I like sleeping to the British Baking Show, so I could just put that on in the background and it would just run, and I don't have to thither with it.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm on Pluto a lot right now. This will also put a date on when we're filming this, but to watch the Big Brother live feeds.
Okay.
They have exclusive channels for it on Pluto so that anyone can access it.
Interesting.
To, tune into the house 24/7.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Tubi, I have been on Tubi because there's a lot of really cool independent films on Tubi that are released strictly to that. And so I've been able to watch some things that just wouldn't be available on general streaming services. So if it's like, I have a friend who's an actor who was in this movie and I want to watch it and it's out, you can probably find it on Tubi if it's been released there. So they have local Detroit films and stuff there too.
You brought up Great British Baking Show. Mm-hmm. When Netflix got the partnership with Bake Off, all of the old Mel and Sue episodes got taken off Netflix. They're all on Tubi.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. So they have a lot more on there than what I even knew about, really. Mm-hmm. Cool.
I got to dig around in these.
And Tubi is completely free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, YouTube, but Tubi and Pluto TV, they're all free.
Yeah. They'll put you through the commercials of cable.
Yes.
Tubi, when you're streaming a show, will do a full 2 or 3 minute ad break 4 times an episode. Yeah. But it's there and it's free.
But YouTube will hit you with super long ad breaks, and sometimes you can skip them, and sometimes you can't. But they do have like a paid option too if you want to get rid of that. Twitch is the same way with streamers having to run a certain amount of ads per hour that they stream in order to shut off ads like the rest of the time and things like that. And you can turn that off by subscribing to the channel or subscribing to Twitch as a whole, because that's an option now. So, like, there are paid ways into some of these that can get around those ads. I just deal with the ads. But what I really miss is the YouTube era of, like, mini series that were based on classic literature, like the Lizzie Bennet Diaries and stuff like that. And I will go back and rewatch those.
I thought you were going to say Carmilla.
Also Carmilla. Carmilla is also wonderful. I went for the one that might be more well known. But yes, any of those were a big part of like the early 2010s. And I would love to see more of that. If anyone knows anything like that that's more current, please let me know. Because I do miss that. It was a really interesting time on the internet.
Yeah. What streaming services do you guys have?
We have Disney Plus because, kids.
Right.
And we have HBO Max, and we've got Hulu. I know I'm probably missing a couple here. We don't have a ton. We don't even have Netflix anymore.
Okay.
We just decided that it was like we weren't really watching it that much, and they kept raising their prices. So that's me being a brat. But anyway, what do you guys have?
Too many. I know I have Netflix. I have Hulu. I have Disney Plus. I think I currently have Paramount.
I have Apple TV. Just throwing that in there. I thought of that.
I had one and then I completely lost track of what it
Sorry.
was. HBO Max.
There we go.
I have Dropout. Situationally, I will subscribe to a service called Flow Marching, which is a subsidiary, I think that's the word I want right now, of Flow Sports, which is how I can watch live streams of certain Drum Corps International shows or Winter Guard International shows, because that is a part of my life. But that one I will do monthly because it's so expensive. So I try to do like 1 month twice a year, and that's about it.
Why is it so expensive?
I
mean, that seems like such a niche thing.
Well, but they do other sports too, which
Gotcha.
is like Flow Marching does just specifically DCI and a bunch of different guard circuits and things like that. They might also do BOA, Bands of America, high school marching band stuff. But they also do a lot of cheer and like other sports, and you get access to all of it with the subscription. But it is cheaper than trying to travel to those shows and then get a ticket to those shows and then have to travel back, and that's why I pay a ridiculous amount of money for it. But like I said, I try to do a month at a time because yikes.
Yep.
Especially with all of the other ones that I simply never cancel, and I should do that.
Well, and so maybe that's something for our audience to think about too, is that maybe every once in a while go through your streaming services and see if this is still something that you even want, because it's money.
Yeah.
And because there's like specific shows that you want to see, but you don't have to subscribe for forever to see those shows when they come out.
Yes.
Yeah. The streaming services that I keep year round are Netflix, Hulu, and Paramount.
Okay.
And Paramount, I'll pay the higher fee to get live TV almost exclusively so I can watch Survivor as it airs because I'm in enough online communities for that, and it's ridiculous. And if I don't know things by 9:15, then I will be spoiled on them.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing like the internet to ruin a perfectly good episode of something. Yeah.
And then I have accounts with like 7 or 8 other streaming services that I just rotate which one I'm paying for that month.
Okay.
So right now I'm paying for Peacock, and that's actually gone on a couple of months too long because I was watching Top Chef as it came out.
Okay.
And so I'll probably cancel that this month and pick up something new to binge over, the rest of the summer. I've been wanting to watch The Pitt and Hacks, so it'll probably be HBO Max. Do that through the fall. The new Percy Jackson season comes out in December, so I'll switch to Disney Plus then.
Okay.
And just keep a constant rotation that way, so I'm connected, but not paying every month.
Yeah, totally.
Drew also does have my Dropout subscription on his TV.
That is a thing.
Which they actively encourage people to share accounts.
Oh, I was going to say, don't say anything out loud.
No, they like you too.
I will sing the praises of Dropout until they start doing something ridiculous, because they are doing some great things and they make some really solid choices as a company.
All right. So if you could keep one streaming service, only one, what would it be?
Dropout.
Paramount.
Okay. For me, it would be HBO Max because I like my wrestling.
That's fair.
That's the thing we watch the most of, honestly.
Yeah, most of what I watch outside of Dropout right now is YouTube, so Dropout.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Cool.
Yep, I'm in Paramount daily because Drag Race is also my sleep show.
Okay.
Which feels like it should be too chaotic to be a sleep show,
Maybe,
but we run with it anyway.
Bit. All right. That works.
It's the show that I by far know the best.
Yeah.
So I can stop paying attention to it.
Gotcha.
And and I would have thought it would have been like Gilmore Girls.
No, Gilmore Girls still has a plot.
Fair.
All right. Well, to our audience members, if you have any suggestions or streaming service pro tips, let us know, and we'll be happy to talk about those on the air. And that is all for now. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
Many thanks to BCTV for their support in recording, editing, and releasing this podcast, and to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring closed captioning on every episode.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.